You're listening to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. We want to thank all of you that are joining us. We also want to say another special thank you to best-selling author Deidre King Bay for coming on the program this evening to share her personal story with us, to talk about her career, and give some great advice for those aspiring writers. One individual who has done what Fantasia has done, and that is believed in herself and moved forward with her career, is our next guest. We're going to be speaking with Shawnise Hadley about her career as an author, what led her to write her first book, and what she hopes all of you get from it. Shawnise, welcome to Conversations Live.
Thank you for having me.
I want to make sure I'm pronouncing the name right. Is it Shawnise?
Yes, it is.
All right, great. Well, look, we're very glad to have you here to talk to us about your book. Before we get into the book, though, I want you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. Well, I'm a sophomore at South Cobb High School. Let's see. I've always liked writing. I've always, written things ever since I was a kid, and I always had like a huge imagination.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned, Shawnise, that you're a sophomore. How old are you?
I'm 16.
16 years old. 16
yes.
years old, and you already have your first book published. Now,
yeah,
a lot of
crazy.
16-year-olds, at 16, I didn't even have a driver's license, Shawnise. I was 21 before I got in, and this is embarrassing to say. I was a big nerd in school. But what does it feel like to be a published author? I don't know, there can't be too many of you guys walking around your high school, but what does that feel like to be a published author and still be in high school?
It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like I'm walking like in a dream. I never imagined this ever happening at all.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it just doesn't feel real right now.
So what is it that led you to first of all, to write this book and then to make the decision to publish it?
Actually, like, believe it or not, I was playing this game called The Sims 2. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I'm not familiar.
Oh, it's like this game where you can play God in a way and just, make characters and go through their families and lives. And I was listening to my iPod while making up these families. And these lyrics, it went like, and I don't care what your friends think, what my friends think, and what your mom thinks, I'll be with you. We were made for each other, but we grew up differently. And those lyrics, like, really sprung out to me and my light bulb just flashed upon my head. I was like, wow, I really need to take out a piece of paper and a pencil and just start, getting these ideas down.
Wow. Well, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, for our listeners, tell them the title of the book.
The title of the book is To Be Deville.
And where did the idea for the title come about?
Actually, the idea for the title, I was actually looking through, like, a writer's book that my mom has that has, like, a list of names, and Deville just actually sound really unique and really sprung out to me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I think that's so great. I don't know if you were able to hear any of Deidre's conversation, but I asked her before we took a break and brought you in, Shawnise. I asked her about advice that she gives for aspiring writers, and she talked about the importance of just writing. Do you feel as though this is just the beginning for you? I mean, you're 16 years old, you're in high school, you have now your first novel. Do you see this as something that will continue?
I actually do. I really do, because I've always written ever since I was a kid, so I really do feel that this is something that I'm going to just be doing for a lifetime. It's not for a profession and for a hobby.
Mm. Now, you mentioned that you've always enjoyed writing. So what are your parents saying about, I know that has to make for some interesting conversations with other parents and when they're talking about what their kids are doing and they talk about you having a book published. How do they feel about this?
Well, my mom, like, she's always been behind me in my writing. Like, this summer, I was having writer's block on how to, write the book. And then she called me, and she was like, are you working on your book yet? And that actually just drove me to continue writing. And she's always been, like, behind me in my writing.
And that means so much to have that support. Now, there are many people who are wondering, they're listening to this conversation. For one thing, they can't believe that you're 16. They can't believe you're in high school. They can't believe you published this book. Walk us through this process. Once you had this idea, once you heard the song, you heard those lyrics, came up with the title, how did you go about doing it?
Well, that's crazy. I really don't remember, but I just came up with all these ideas. Like, actually in class, we were talking about Romeo and Juliet, and I was like, what if I can just tie in Romeo and Juliet, too, along with the book? And then I thought, well, maybe I can, twist some things around, because I don't want it to be exactly the same.
Right.
And I just got on Microsoft Word and just started just typing.
Wow. This is an amazing story, and I'm so proud of you, I have to say. I mean, I've always loved to write as well, and in high school it was a dream of mine, but I did not believe it was something I could do while I was in high school. Did you have any doubt at any point, Shawnise, that maybe this wasn't the right time, or was there a time when you felt as though, you know what, this is way too much work, I really can't do this and do everything else I have to do for school, maybe I have to put it off? Did you ever have those doubts?
I really did. Like with the writer's block, like when I came to a certain point of the book, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I don't have any more ideas. I'm just going to, just put this story in a recycle bin and just start over. And then my mom called me. I was like, wait a minute. I'm not going to do this to, my book, or as I say, my baby. I'm not going to do that to it.
Wow. And so you kept up the process. Now, for the book actually came out when?
It actually came out in June.
Okay.
June.
All right. So June of 2009?
Yes. That's when I actually started writing it, and my mom got it published around January of this year.
Okay, January of this year. Okay. Now, and who did you use to publish it? Who is it published through?
My mom self-published it.
Wow, that is great. So you really do. It really is a family business then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we are. I have to tell you, I have to thank whoever it was that contacted me. Do you know who was it that reached out to me about your book?
Oh, my mom.
Oh, it was your mom. Okay, well,
Yes.
thanks, Mom. I appreciate you contacting us. I remember the email, and I was so excited when I read it, and then, of course, you guys responded back so quick. I was, we were very glad to be able to have you here on the show to talk about it, because I think, Shawnise, what you have done is really, you're putting a lot of adults to shame, because there are a lot of adults who have these different challenges, and they say, you know what, I just can't do this. I'm just going to give up. But you're showing that, regardless of your age or where you might think you are in your life, that you can do this. Now that people are reading your book, what has been some of the responses you've heard so far?
Like my friend, she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you actually wrote this." Like, I read through it and I get so engrossed through it that I just can't believe you're the one that wrote it. And that's like the best response I've gotten from the book.
Wow. Well, and at the end of the day, as people are reading it, and it is fiction, but of course people are going to wonder how much of Shawnise Hadley is in there. Do you see yourself in any of the characters or any of the things that the situations they end up in?
Like the main character, Clarissa, she's spunky, she's independent, and I really feel like some of those characteristics are in me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like her childlike nature is kind of in me as well, so I kind of like incorporated some of my personality into her as too.
Okay, all right. Well, we're getting ready to head into the summer, so I know you have a lot more time to promote the book. Go ahead and, for those who may have missed it, go ahead and give them the title of the book again.
The title is To Be a Deville.
Okay, To Be a Deville. And if people are interested that are listening to our show nationwide, if they're interested in purchasing their copy of the book, how can they get in contact with you, Shawnise, or where can they buy it?
Well, it's not in the stores right now, but you can contact me at Shawnise Hadley at yahoo.com.
Okay, at yahoo.com, and then you can get in contact with you that way. And I tell you, it's always an honor to speak to individuals like yourself who have a dream and that are actually living that dream, and that's what you're doing today. So, I mean, I'm proud of you and what you're accomplishing, and anything we can do here to help, we definitely would love to do it. What advice would you give, Shawnise, to those who are listening who I had Diatri, she gave advice earlier to aspiring writers. What advice would you have to those, maybe even high school and up, or maybe even younger than high school, who have an idea? What would you tell them to do about seeing that dream through to the end?
I would just say just chase your dreams, just like in big, bold letters, to just chase them. Even if you fall, even if you have your doubts, to just keep running after it.
Mm-hmm. And the proof is definitely there that it does pay off. Again, we've been speaking with Shawnise Hadley. As she mentioned, you can find out more information about her by emailing her at ShawniseHadley@yahoo.com. And again, the title of the book is To Be a Deville. Shawnise, congratulations again, and definitely keep us posted on what's coming up next for you. We'd love to have you back on the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. And for our listeners, thank you for joining us for another edition of Conversations Live. Keep in mind, if you missed any part of this broadcast, you can catch the entire podcast about 5 minutes after we go off the air. You can do that by going to our radio website at www.conversationsliveradio.com. That's